Hello and welcome back to London Cycle Routes. Today I'll be showing you how to cycle from Clapham Junction in South London to Fulham in West London. This ride takes around 15 minutes and you can do the whole thing on quiet streets and protected cycle lanes. By public transport, the same journey takes more like half an hour, and the fastest routes require you to change between train and bus, so cycling is a brilliant option to make this trip. If you find this video useful or you just enjoy watching it, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I try to post new videos just like it every week. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. If you're feeling generous and you'd like to contribute too, then you can find a link in the description below the video. Alright, let's get going. So we're starting on the Grant Road side of Clapham Junction station, which is by the exit near the London Overground platforms. Grant Road is generally pretty quiet, but it is used as a pick-up and drop-off location for people driving to the railway station, so just be careful of cars making manoeuvres there. We're not on it for long though, and we quickly turn into the Winstanley estate. There's a little ramp here which you'll want to give priority to pedestrians on, and also a blue cycle route sign directing us this way and showing that it is in fact a cycle route. The Winstanley estate was once home to Alan Johnson, the Labour politician who would go on to become Home Secretary, and also to UK garage pioneers So Solid crew. The layout of the roads on the estate means that there isn't any through traffic on it, and it also leads us nicely to this toucan crossing, which, as you can see from the bike light on the lights there, you're allowed to cycle over and connect to this little cycle track here, dropping you onto Maysoul Road. Now that we're on this side of Plough Road, we're actually on the Wilberforce estate, named after anti-slavery abolitionist politician William Wilberforce. The buildings along here are also named after other people who were involved in abolition of the slave trade. There's Buxton House, named after Fowl Buxton, Ramsey House after James Ramsey, and Fox House after Charles James Fox. This area is sort of historically linked to slavery abolition in that Wilberforce himself actually lived in Battersea, albeit on the other side of Clapham Junction station on Broomwood Road. Wilberforce's Clapham sect, as the name suggests, also met in nearby Clapham. That section of the route does use estate roads, which can be a little bit wiggly and difficult to navigate, so if you need a little bit more help following the route, you can always download the digital map of the route that I've made. It's linked in the description below the video, and you should be able to download it in a GPX format, which is a standard format that should work on whatever app or device you like using. Now we want to get across this massive roundabout, Wandsworth roundabout. It's a pretty horrible road and you wouldn't want to cycle on the main road there, but fortunately there is a cycle track here running alongside it. We're going to use the toucan crossings here, which are basically pedestrian crossings with bike lights on that you're allowed to cycle over. There is another way of doing this, which is to use the underpasses, and you don't have to wait for the lights if you use the underpass, so some people might prefer it. There's one of the underpass entrances here, we pass one on the way in, and there's also another one over the road there. Personally, I prefer the crossings in this case, as I'm never really sure which exit the underpass is going to spit me out on. We ride a brief section in the bus lane here, though it should be clear for you if you're waiting for the lights, as the toucan crossing lights behind us mean that the cars are being held back for us while we get up here, and this quickly turns into a wand protected cycle lane over Wandsworth Bridge. I believe that Wandsworth Council will soon be building permanent curb protected cycle lanes on this bridge in both directions, and they should start construction this year. It's something I forgot to mention in my 2025 preview video, which if you haven't watched, you absolutely should. In the opposite direction for now, there is a painted cycle track on the pavement, which isn't great, but it does mean that you don't have to mix with traffic on the bridge, and it does lead directly to the little cycle path around Wandsworth roundabout, which we just navigated. When the new lanes are done though, I will make videos showing them off and how to use them, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss that. The next section of our route is through what's called the South Fulham West Clean Air Neighbourhood. Clean air neighbourhoods are what Hammersmith and Fulham Council calls their version of a low traffic neighbourhood. The principle is pretty similar in that roads are closed off at strategic points to through traffic with filters, but the difference is that they give a blanket exemption to all residents of Hammersmith and Fulham. I personally don't really like the exemptions approach as it's confusing, arguably unfair, and it doesn't really cut traffic as much as just having a regular filter. But this scheme and the one to the east of Wandsworth Bridge Road have been pretty good and made these streets comfortable to cycle on. The filters are just signs that say no motor vehicles except for those with a permit, and then the council issues permits to everyone in the borough with a car. The closure is enforced with a camera, and everyone driving through who shouldn't gets a fine. You can see the filters on the yellow signs just there. Now, a few years ago, Hammersmith and Fulham Council claimed it would cover the whole borough in these schemes pretty fast, and according to their original timetable, they would have actually been done by now, I think. The idea of the residents exemption was basically political, that it would make the schemes easier to deliver as people who actually vote in local elections here wouldn't care about restrictions on people from outside the borough. It doesn't really seem to have panned out like that though, and they've only delivered 2 clean air neighbourhoods, and the council seems to have gone dark as to whether any more will actually be completed. I put a Freedom of Information request in last year about whether there'll be any more, and all I got back was an evasive answer saying it remains an outline programme and that they'll be delivered contingent on local community support. So who knows? Now don't miss this turning into Grimston Road, which is going to take us north towards the centre of Fulham. After you pass under the London Underground's District line here, you'll probably want to use this parallel crossing at the end of the street to help you get over New King's Road and into Elysium Road. There's a little drop curb just before the cycle hire rank, which will help you rejoin the carriageway, and if you're doing this route in the opposite direction, that's the drop curb you'll want to use to access the crossing. I'm quite pleased with this route as Fulham can be quite annoying to get to from anywhere that isn't on the district line, and riding from Clapham Junction especially really shows that geographically it's actually pretty close to a lot of other places, and somehow it's only taken us 15 minutes to get there. We're going to end the ride here as we arrive at Fulham Road. Fulham Post Office is just on the right up there, past that rank of TfL hire bikes. There is actually a rank of hire bikes very close to the start of our route today on Grant Road, so if you want to do this ride using them, for example if you're arriving by train at Clapham Junction, then it's very easy to do so as it starts and ends by a docking station. But for now, thank you so much to everyone for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do make sure you hit the subscribe button so you see future videos. I post them every week. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like as it helps other people find it. And thanks once again to everyone who supports the channel's work on Patreon. If anyone else is feeling generous and wants to throw money at me, then you can find a link in the description below the video. Do let me know in the comments what you think of the route, and I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.